everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the second video on my series on finding happiness in the midst of a very crazy busy family life, because it can be hard to find joy and peace when you're completely tapped out, and this is something I've struggled with. And so for this video series I thought I'd use a bit of a different format, more of a journal format, where I talk to you about myself and how I go about finding joy in the middle of this crazy life that I live. In the first video I talked to you about some of my frustrations and the things that sort of get in the way between me and peace, and so that's what I thought I would continue in this second installment. One thing that I really struggle with as well, like in my everyday life, and that I find is really like, I don't know if it steals my joy or if it just prevents it or whatever, is that as I've mentioned in several videos before, my husband and I have been at this for 20 years. And recently we've really been feeling like we've really been feeling the weight of the years. When you have a large family, when you keep having children year after year after year, what it means is that nothing's a phase. So just to give you an example, because I'm kind of having a hard time finding the right words. To give you an example, last week we had our children's piano recital. Piano recital means that we go to a concert with a bunch of young kids, and then partway through the concert we need to take people out of the venue because they're too loud, and then after the concert there are refreshments, right? And so during the concert my husband and I had to take the twins, and well, I made a strategic error in that I had a cold, and so I brought a box of Kleenex at the dollar store, and I thought, wouldn't it be cute to buy a box of frozen Kleenex, like frozen, because then I finished with the Kleenex and the kids could play with the box. So that was great, except here I'm at the concert with my purse and one box of frozen Kleenex and 3 children. So my husband's like, way to go. And so eventually the kids started to fight for the box of Kleenex, and my husband had to take them out of the concert venue. So, and he's just sitting there going like, it's been 20 years of taking people out of concert venues and never being able to just sit through a concert, like 20 years. And so then he had to leave. The concert ended. Guys, you're really loud. Shut. And so after the concert, so my husband had to leave right after the concert to go pick up another kid. I'm left for the refreshment and the party. And so we have a great time, we chat, we see friends, we drink punch, we eat brownies, whatever. It always ends up the same way. I have to strategically pack my purse, and I have this whole routine down pat, how to grab my purse so my keys are accessible with one hand, because the other hand is holding a screaming toddler. Like, I've got a screaming toddler under my arm. I'm sure you've all left a place with a screaming toddler under your arm. Well, this is how I've been leaving every single place we've had fun at. Guys! Enough! I'm trying to talk. So we've been, every single place where we've had fun that we've been trying to leave for 20 years, we've been leaving with a screaming toddler under our arm. Like, it gets old. It gets old. And so sometimes, the house is dirty, and then there's always somebody well-meaning who's going to tell me, oh, sometimes, someday the kids will be grown and your house will be clean and you'll miss the dirty house. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think so, because I've been living in grime with holes in walls and scratches everywhere, and unable to keep anything clean for more than 5 minutes for 20 years, right? Once I remember a situation where I couldn't go out for dinner, and a friend telling me, well, at this stage in your life, those are, you just miss dinners, and I was so like this stage in my life, like this stage, like this is a phase that's been going on for 20 years. I know that a lot of people see mothers of large families and they think that there is no struggle, right? Because if I was struggling like you are, then I would have 2 kids like you do. Speaking for myself, it's not that I don't struggle in my motherhood, in my parenting. It's just that I separate the struggle from the decision to have more children. And so I always see the struggle as something to overcome, right? So if a lot of people, that's something I've heard several times in my 20 years, like, oh, I can have more kids, I'm way too selfish, right? Like a lot of people come by their selfishness very honestly. It's like no shame. In this series about finding joy and finding happiness in the midst of parenting, that's a little bit what I want to explore, what my struggles are and how I try to overcome them so I can find peace in that busy life that I live. And hopefully my reflection can be useful to you. That's my hope. That's why I'm putting it on YouTube. It's not so I can look at myself. So anyway, this is the second part, and we'll be hopefully doing a third part later this week. Thanks for watching.